So in this video, I'm going to help you set up your diet. This will include your baseline calories for a maintenance phase, what your calories should increase to if you're going into a surplus, what they should decrease to if you're going into a deficit, and the macros that are involved as well. So the first thing that we have to do is figure out what your lean body mass is. Now this will be nice and easy if you can get to a full body scan where it's going to tell you what your lean body mass is, what your body fat percentage is, and all things along those lines. But if you don't have that luxury, you're going to have to be honest with yourself. You're going to have to look at yourself and think, how much weight do you have to lose to be completely lean? Now, if you have done the likes of a photo shoot, or if you have competed and you've got to the stage where you're completely lean, then you should know what your lean body mass is. This will be referred to in physique competitors as stage weight. If you're doing a photo shoot, I'd probably take maybe a couple pounds off that. What you're looking for is your body weight without any water, without any fat. If you haven't done any of these things, then what you have to realistically do is look at yourself and think, how much weight have I got to lose until I get to that stage, whether it's 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds. It's usually more than you think. So, number one, lean body mass. I'm going to help you along the way because I'm going to make this specific to me. My stage weight this year was 157 pounds. Before we go into working out calories, what I want to work out first is protein, carbs, and fat intakes and targets. How we're going to do this is it is based off our lean body mass. So, for example, protein, I'm going to go for 1.5 pounds of protein per 1 pound of lean body mass. And I absolutely need a calculator to work that out. So 157 times 1.5 is 235 grams of protein. 2. Protein. 1.5 grams per pound body weight equals 235 grams. So I'm going to target 235 grams of protein every day. Next we move on to our carbohydrate intake. The guideline that we're going to go with is 2 to 3 grams of carbohydrates per pound of lean body mass. This will be down to personal preference as well. I know personally, once my carbohydrate intake goes very high and it goes towards 3 grams per pound of body weight, I do start to hold a lot of water weight in my physique, and it doesn't look good and it doesn't feel good. I start to get lethargic. So what I'm going to go with is 2 grams of carbohydrate per pound of lean body mass. In the calculator again, that is 157 times 2, 314 grams. Next we move on to our fat intake. Now fats will be considerably lower in terms of grams, but that is because they're a lot more calorie dense than the other macronutrients. The equation that we're going to go for is 0.4 grams of fats per pound of lean body mass. The calculator's back out for this one. 0.4 times 157 is 62.8. I'm going to put that down as 63 grams of fat. So, as you can see, we have our macronutrient amounts lined out. Now what we need to do is figure out what calories this equates to. The way we're going to do this is use the simple equation that 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, 1 gram of carbohydrates is 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So yet again, we are going to the calculator. 235 grams times 4 is 940 calories. 314 times 4 is 1,256 calories. And 63 grams of fats times 9 is 567 calories. Our total from that is 2,763 calories. We'll make a note of this equation here. Now what's worth noting about this is if I go onto a standard calorie calculator online and type in my details, my age, my height, my weight, and say that I exercise 4 to 5 times a week, what it tells me is that 24 to 2,500 calories a day is going to maintain my weight. What this doesn't take into consideration is that 157 pounds is muscle. So that is my lean body mass. They're just going off general body weight, which for most people will hold body fat, a lot of water retention as well. So this is where it comes in handy, just to be completely honest with yourself and figure out what your lean body mass is. So right now we've got our baseline numbers. This is if I want to maintain my body weight right now. What I would recommend is if you're starting something like this as a diet, do it for 2 weeks consistently and see where your body weight goes and see where your physique goes visually as well. Once you've done this for a baseline 2 weeks, you'll know exactly how your body's responding. If you gained a couple pounds, then you're probably going to be in a maintenance or you need to dictate your activity levels. If I run this for 2 weeks consistently, eating 2,763 calories every day, it is more than likely that my body weight will stay the same. Obviously, this can fluctuate depending on activity levels. If I have a few more active days and less days, my weight will change. That is simple. That is calories in versus calories out. So as I say, if you're starting this, be consistent with it. If you can do this for 2 weeks consistently, you will know exactly how your body's reacting to it. Now, this is relevant for any stage of training that you want to go into. If you want to go into calorie surplus, run that for 2 weeks, see how your body reacts to it. Once you've run it for 2 weeks, seen how your body reacts to it, if I lost 2 pounds in those 2 weeks, then I know I can go up by an extra few calories. If I gain weight and I want to lose weight, then I know I need to go even lower than that, and it is that simple. So if I want to put myself into a calorie deficit, all that I will do with this number is take 200 calories out. The way I'll do that is from 50 grams of carbohydrates. So when we look at the equation, 1 gram of carbohydrate is 4 calories. That means that 50 grams of carbohydrates is 200 calories. So we will remove 314 grams of carbohydrates and make it 264 grams of carbohydrates. That will make this 2,563 calories. That is reducing my daily intake by 200 calories. That reduces my weekly intake by 1,400 calories, putting me in a deficit. And the exact same is likewise for going into a calorie surplus. Slow and steady is the way to do it. You see how your body responds. Your body will react better to slow and steady because it leaves more changes in the tank to make. If you're in a deficit and you go gun-ho too quickly and you just drop yourself by 500 calories a day, just like that, where can you go from there? Your body weight's going to drop drastically and you're just going to have to drop further into lower food. Likewise, when you go into a surplus, whenever you gain weight too quickly, the only thing that's going to happen is that you're going to have to draw back sooner. The slower and steady you can gain your weight, the more extended that period of weight gain will become and the more beneficial it'll become before you have to then draw back when body fat levels get too high. Let's say whether you're maintenance, whether you're deficit, whether you are surplus, ease it by 200 calories each time. So if I were to go into a weight gain phase, the initial thing that I would do, add 50 grams of carbohydrates to that, making it 364 grams. And then that calorie intake will change to 2,963 calories. If after 2 weeks of that, my weight's only gone up by say 1 pound, I'll do it again. I'll add another 50 grams of carbohydrates, another 200 calories, and see how my body responds to that. So that is pretty much everything set up in terms of how to set up your diet. The next thing that you need to look at is foods. My recommendation is base your diet around foods that you enjoy, the foods that you're likely to be able to eat every day. If you prep a meal that you think is disgusting, the odds are you're going to throw that meal in the bin and you're going to get something else that isn't specific to your goals. So again, I'm going to make this personal to me and list a few food choices that I know that I enjoy eating every day and that will be sustainable for me to eat every day. Number 1, chicken. I do not get bored of eating chicken. I could eat chicken 2-3 times a day. I'll not get bored of it. So that is going to be a staple in my diet as a protein source. Second protein source, steak. I love steak. Third protein source, whey protein, nice and simple. I'm a big advocate of trying to get your protein sources from natural sources such as your meat and stuff like that. But 1 portion a day of whey protein is not going to do any harm, and it will benefit you. More often than not, it is going to be nice tasting. It's going to get you that wee sweet flavour that you can't get elsewhere in your diet. Natural yogurt. 1 tub of Skyr 0% fat natural yogurt has 49 grams of protein, only 18 grams of carbs, and no fats in it. Now, natural yogurt on its own isn't the nicest tasting. With a wee bit of flavour drops, it becomes very nice. It's a nice wee treat before bed every night. The thing about natural yogurt is it is slow digesting, so it is ideal as your last meal. On to carbohydrates. Number 1, bagels. I love bagels. I do not get bored of bagels. Bagels will be a staple in my diet. I will make sure to get a couple a day. Number 2, rice. Usually white rice. I'm not really a big fan of brown rice, so I will go for white basmati rice, and I'll have it once or twice a day. Number 3 is cream of rice. Same as the whey protein, it is a supplement and it will always be nice tasting. So again, pre or post workout, you're going to get a flavour like vanilla or chocolate or something like that, and it is a nice treat. Fruit, of course, going to be packed with micronutrients. Only downfall is it is full of sugar, so I always try and time it maybe pre or post workout, but fruit should be a staple in any diet. Dodgy writing, but that says cereal. Cereal, lovely, solves a sweet tooth. It is like a nice wee snack as well as a treat. Good source of carbohydrates. On to our fats. Number 1 is eggs. Very good source of protein, good for loading fats as well. You can have 2 or 3 in each meal if you need to. My handwriting's getting worse as the board goes on, but cheese is another source of fat that is surprisingly high in protein and will get you a couple of micronutrients as well. It's a good source of fats. Peanut butter is another good source of fats that fits in my diet perfectly. I'll probably have like 15 grams of peanut butter on a bagel each day, and again, that just solves that craving and sweet tooth side of things. And last but not least, dark chocolate. Again, something I try and keep in smaller proportion because it's easy to get carried away with. Usually put about 20 grams in my last meal as a source of fats. It solves my sweet tooth before bed. It means I don't go raving into the cupboards chasing anything else. Almost forgot on the protein source. Cannot forget bacon medallions. So now when I look at this board, I have clear targets to hit. I've got my calorie target that is broken down into macronutrient targets, and I've got sources of each macronutrient to try and fit in my diet. This is based off foods I love, so I know I'm going to be able to stick to this diet. All I need to do now is go onto MyFitnessPal and sort out the amounts of each food source that I'm going to go for. So quite literally within the last few minutes there, I just went onto MyFitnessPal. Now you will see 2763, and I've got logged 2763 calories on the dot. This is the food I'm going to go for. I've got 3 bacon medallions, 2 eggs, and half a bagel for a first meal in the morning. My next meal is going to be 150 grams of chicken and 150 grams of rice. Next meal is going to be a bagel and a half with chicken and a banana. I'm going to put a bit of peanut butter on one of the bagels. That will be my pre-workout meal. Post-workout meal, 75 grams of cream of rice, scoop and a half of whey protein. I then have steak and rice for dinner. And then my last meal before bed is half a tub of Skyr yogurt with 85% chocolate, dark chocolate. The macronutrients that then hits, 234 grams of protein and 1 gram short. Carbohydrates is 7 grams less, and fat is 1 gram short. So it is very, very accurate in regards to what is on the board here and what the foods that you're logging are. So again, I can't emphasize enough, this is based on foods that I enjoy, and this is very specific to my lean body mass. It will be different for you. Now, the main thing worth noting is this will change based on activity levels. If you're completely new to training and your lean body mass is 157, happens to be the exact same as mine, your energy expenditure is going to increase a lot more than it is used to. So if you're used to being very stationary and not training, and then all of a sudden you start a training plan, you're going to be burning a lot more calories than you previously have been. So you will need to increase this slightly. Again, go for the 2 baseline weeks and base it off there. The last thing I want to mention is that if you are going into a deficit in regards to these calories, what you may want to consider is whether you decide to drop calories from the food or increase your expenditure. So you could bring in an extra 20 minutes of cardio per day and burn an extra couple hundred calories, which means that you don't have to take the calories away from the food. So obviously everything on this board behind me, there is a lot of things to consider, especially when you're making this specific to you, because this is specific to me and my lean body mass. So obviously there's a lot to consider. You've got your calorie intake, you've got your macronutrient intake, you've got your actual lean body mass to work out, and you've got your food choices, which you have to make sustainable for yourself. These are listed here because I love these foods. I enjoy these foods on a daily basis, and I will not get bored of these foods, and I know that from my experience. That's something that you need to work out for yourself. If you're struggling with anything on this board, please do reach out and let me know. But hopefully this video has shone light on anything that you're unsure of in terms of setting up your own diet, and will help you to success in the future. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. Hopefully that video was very educational for you and will help you reach your goals in the future. The one thing I do want to mention before we go is that that is a very general equation. Everyone's body has different ways of breaking down foods and reacting to different foods. So please do not think that this is the be all end all and that you have to go by this. As I say, if you are using this equation, run it for 2 weeks very consistently, figure out what way your body's reacting to it, and then base off that. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed.